Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're just having a little bit of tech trouble getting our presenter in here. So as soon as we get her in here, we will get started. Thanks so much for your patience. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for your patience while we were working through those technical difficulties. Just to get started right away, we can jump in. I just wanted to thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited to give you guys the information on this new F&G product. Before we begin, just a couple of items for us. This is going to be a recorded webinar, so if you guys would like a copy of that, you can reach out to us after the presentation ends. That number is 952-887-1239. You can also reach out to us at marketing@nfisolutions.com.
Well, good morning, folks. Emily Scanlon here from F&G. I'm sorry for all the technical issues and no promises that it's resolved. So appreciate your patience and would love your assistance in just confirming that you are able to hear my voice, that you can hear me clearly, and that you can see my screen. So if you wouldn't mind just sending a quick message through chat. I think I have figured out how to use chat. It can probably confirm that. So if you wouldn't mind just dropping a quick note in the chat message and let me know that you can hear my voice and see my screen. Hopefully I will be able to see that. Got a hand raised, so hopefully that's good. Got some thumbs up and some reactions. So I'm going to roll with it. Great. Thanks, Bob, Jennifer. Appreciate the feedback. Joshua, thank you so much. You know, you would think after how many years, what year was it? 2020, after 3 years, we would all, including myself especially, have this virtual presentation environment figured out. But let me tell you, I'm discovering new platforms on a weekly basis, and each one has its own learning curve. So thank you so much for your patience and being willing to stick it out. I promise it will be well worth your time and attention here today. So thank you so much. Catherine, thanks again for your assistance. I'm not sure if, I assume you'll pop on if you have any announcements to make, but otherwise I'm happy to go ahead and just get rolling here this morning. So welcome. Thanks so much for joining. As I said, my name is Emily Scanlon. I'm the director of our internal sales team here at F&G for the life side of the business, and I am just so pleased and excited to be joining you all here today. I must admit that I am a little bit of a stand-in for your normal presenter, which is Miles Brown. Miles is out of the office today, and he honored me with the privilege of connecting with you all today. So I'm really, really excited to share a little bit about the F&G story, but probably you're all more familiar with Miles, and Miles is a great partner of mine. In fact, I hired Miles at F&G here a couple of years ago, and he's done a great job here with us. So I'm pleased to be able to step in for him today. So I'm really excited to talk about the Trailsetter product as our focus for today. Now, that being said, we have a number of IUL solutions to provide to you and your clients here at F&G. Today, we're focusing on not one of, the most unique product offering that we have here at F&G. And we'll dive in deeply to the story around accumulation, around performance, and around compensation. That's the piece primarily for you. So today's conversation is about the F&G Trailsetter. This is a fixed index universal life product, again, available at F&G and available exclusively to you. And I think that this is an important note for me to make at the beginning is that F&G supports a very robust distribution field. So we have a lot of agents and advisors that work with us, but the Trailsetter is not a product that we offer to all of our relationships. So we have what I would consider our shelf products, which is our Pathsetter and our Everlast product. And then we have some specialty or exclusive products. And the Trailsetter is that exclusive product. So this is not something that clients are going to be able to get everywhere. It has a very exclusive distribution, which gives you a great opportunity to present a unique product to your client. And when I say unique, I mean it in a number of different ways, which we'll go through here today. So walking through what the game plan is for today, why F&G, we'll talk a little bit about us as a company, financial information, financial strength and history. Won't be too much of a boring history lesson, I hope, but give you some background to our footprint in the IUL market and why we are where we are today. In addition, I'll introduce you to some key resources and team members that we would encourage you to connect with for follow-up questions then that are here to support your success here with us at F&G. And then we'll really dive into the product. And that's my favorite part because I happen to be a self-proclaimed product nerd. Yes, I work in sales now, but I started my career on the product side of the business. So I'm super excited to really unpack this opportunity from a product positioning standpoint, talk to you about the features and benefits, talk to you about some of the unique crediting options, and focus quite a bit on why the compensation structure provides you a great value to continuing your practice, growing your business, and also pays back into the product in a way that affords us the ability at F&G to provide the most competitive accumulation IUL solution in the market. We'll walk through a couple of case studies. So putting that concept into practice, how can we position this with our clients? And then of course, I will wrap up providing contact information. And I have questions noted at the end, but I welcome your questions throughout. I will do my best to bounce between the presentation and looking at the chat screen, which again, I think I figured out, no promises, but checking that chat screen to make sure that I'm answering your questions in a timely manner. So hopefully you're all on board. Let's get rocking and rolling. So why F&G, or why Fidelity and Guaranty Life? Now, you may or may not be familiar with F&G. Perhaps you're writing annuity products with us. Perhaps you've written with us in the past. And I assure you, I won't go through our entire 60 years of history in the market, but I think there are a couple of key items that I'd really like to highlight for you. We offered our first IUL product in 2003. So the very first IUL was offered in the market in 1997, and we entered the market from an IUL space just a handful of years later. So even though IUL has been growing more significantly over the past, let's say, 10 years, we've been in the game quite a bit longer than that. And that's really where our specialty is. And I think that you'll see that when I go through the Trailsetter product today. You'll see how our expertise and experience in the IUL market, long-standing experience, didn't just join the game a couple of years ago, has afforded us the opportunity to create the most competitive and compelling IUL portfolio in the market. A couple other key highlights is, I would say, when we became a partner or a subsidiary of F&F, so that's highlighted under the 2020 timeframe. Fidelity National Financial is the largest title insurance company in the United States, and we are now a subsidiary of F&F. What does this mean? Well, from a day-to-day basis, we really operate pretty independently from F&F, but the strategic partner affords us the opportunity to have a wider and robust, more financial position in the greater market, and a partnership that's really has a great synergy together. Title insurance, that market is growing in a lower interest rate environment versus the financial service products that we offer here at F&G are a great balance to that in a more rising interest rate market. So we really do operate independently, but we are proud to be a partner and a part of the F&F family. Most recently, in 2022, we rolled out a portion of our stock, 15%, on the New York Stock Exchange. It became publicly traded at that point. So that was a super exciting time for us. 2022, just a couple of months ago. In fact, it was the end of the year. And again, today that allows us to continue our great partnership with advisors and relationships like you, as well as continuing to stay committed on delivering our promises to our customers, not just today, not just tomorrow, but well into the future, which I think you'll see backed by our long-standing history in the market. So as I touched on, F&F is really the parent company for F&G. And within that F&G relationship, we are backed by what we call the power of Blackstone. So Blackstone Insurance Solutions does manage our general account and gives us an incredible competitive edge in the market to have really the best portfolio management of our investment strategy. So this is all just to say, not necessarily things that need to go into your conversations with your customers, but if you're new to F&G, I think understanding the partnership with Blackstone and having that backing of them supporting the management of our general account is really a standout in the market, and gives us the edge when we're talking about competitive product pricing, when we're talking about financial strength. And that, of course, all goes into being able to deliver the most powerful solutions to you and your customers over the long haul. So quick introduction to F&G. Obviously, there's a lot more to that story, and a huge piece of that story is the people. So I'd like to introduce you to some key partners for you here at F&G. I already told you that I'm standing in for Miles here today. He's in the middle of this slide. Miles Brown is your key contact from a sales perspective. He's our national account manager that works with NFI, and I'm sure you will meet him, whether it's virtually or in person at meetings in the future. Partnering with Miles is skip over 2 people to Andy Brewer. Andy Brewer is one of our senior internal wholesalers. He works on my team and partners closely with Miles. So those 2 would be your primary contacts here at F&G from a sales support perspective. Now, that's, of course, in addition to your relationships and your partnerships at NFI. So we work closely with your marketers and your sales team members there in order to provide you the support that you need. So you have a great team, not only through your partnership with NFI, which we are really proud to support. But I want to also make sure that you know that you have a team of folks here at F&G in the home office to ensure your success is supported as well. So a little bit about the story. Now we get into really why we're here today, which is to talk about product, right? The F&G Trailsetter. I am really pleased to maybe introduce or reintroduce to you the F&G Trailsetter product. As I started off by saying, this product is unique in a lot of ways, one of which being the exclusive access to it. So as a reminder, not every agent with F&G has the opportunity to offer Trailsetter to their clients, but it also has a unique structure that affords us the ability to create truly the most powerful accumulation solution in the market. If you don't believe me, I'll show you a couple of examples here in a few moments. So we have that competitive performance in, again, this is an accumulation focused vehicle. Targeted is going to be for your folks that are, pre-retirement age, looking to have some accumulation period before likely utilizing the IUL to create tax-free income for themselves. Now, in addition to what the Trailsetter product offers for your clients, which in turn benefits you, doesn't it? Also on the commission side of things, the Trailsetter has a very different commission structure that pays you more than a traditional heaped compensation product and allows you the opportunity to build value over time in your business. So we'll go through and unpack all of that. In addition, the product supports exam-free underwriting through $1 million for clients through age 60, has a full suite of living benefits, so chronic, critical, and terminal, and some very unusual, don't say unusual in a bad way, unusual in a good way, but I've said unique so many times, I'm trying to find a different word here, of different index allocation options than one you might be seeing both in our portfolio as well as in other products. But if you're writing annuities with us, these index strategies will be familiar to you. I want to make sure, looks like my slides are a little bit slow, but hopefully you were seeing that one. If not, you just had to listen to me talk about all these points, but let's move forward. So we started off talking about accumulation, and that's where I want to start building the story here. So if we look at, this is a comparison between our other accumulation, or excuse me, our cumulative premium here being paid at the purple line compared against your account value growth. So we can see the way in which the account value grows substantially and grows quite quickly over the duration of payments into the Trailsetter product. So the Trailsetter performance, again, is designed for that accumulation sale and designed to really amplify the traditional model of accumulation within an IUL, again, through that unique pricing design, which is comprised of that a commission component, which we'll unpack here in a moment. You're looking at nearly $732,000 of cash value and targeting over $80,000 in annual distributions over time for this particular design. So this design is a 45-year-old female paying $20,000 for 20 years. So pretty traditional IUL accumulation concept, and demonstrating to you how we can really amplify and grow that accumulation through the Trailsetter product. So let's talk a little bit about some of the details, just catching up on some of the comments here. Sounds like there are some audio or computer issues. So I do believe that this session is being recorded. So if you are not able to stay with us or you have some issues, you will have a recording available to you. So product specs. The Trailsetter product is available to your clients 18 through age 80. Now, of course, we know that the sweet spot when you're talking about accumulation in IUL market is going to be your folks that are in their working years or prior to retirement. So that's really going to be the same for the Trailsetter product. We can issue up to age 80, but if you're looking for an accumulation story, really your sweet spot is going to be anywhere between that, age 30 up through age 55 or 60 or so. So we would encourage you to look at the product for all of your clients, but if I were to narrow it down, it's really for your target market accumulation clients. Minimum death benefit, $150,000. So pretty accessible product, not necessarily your clients that are on a extraordinarily lower budget or price point. We absolutely do have products for those clients, but still quite accessible and affordable to clients on a wide range of budgets in order for them to get in on this opportunity. Distribution options. So this is one of the most important features, not just of the Trailsetter product, but we really take this philosophy across the board in our portfolio about how can we protect our clients from having to pay too much to borrow from their IULs in the future. That's the question really that we ask ourselves and that we want to pass along and ask you to consider when you're looking at IUL solutions. So if we're looking at an accumulation product for our clients, over time, they are probably going to want to borrow from that policy, right? Or at least have the option to do so, create that tax-free retirement or tax-free income stream for themselves. So isn't it important to know and to be protected and promised that our clients are never going to have to pay too much to borrow? That was a trick question. Of course, the answer is yes. So IUL products have a variety of provisions or maximum guaranteed charges that they can charge against those loans. And F&G's is the lowest in the market at 5%. Now that 5% is guaranteed. So it's contractually guaranteed that no matter what happens in the interest rate environment, and sheesh, based on what we've seen over the past year or so, it's anybody's guess what's going to happen in 20 or 30 or 40 years when my client's going to borrow from their contract. But you are locking in and guaranteeing to them that they will never be charged more than 5%. Now, that charge is also designed to be that loan is designed to be a participating loan. So what that means is that even though there's a charge for it, and again, that's charged on a variable basis up to 5%, the borrowed money still has the opportunity to earn interest based on the index returns. So the borrowed money stays in the account value, still has the opportunity to be credited based on index interest returns, meaning that if your index strategy returns 5%, then your client's paying nothing for their loan. If it earns more than 5%, they're actually earning interest on the money in their pocket. That's the power of a variable loan, and more importantly, the power of a cap on your variable loan being as low as 5%. We also offer a number of other distribution options, a fixed loan option. Now, a fixed loan is a non-participating loan, but it locks in that net charge at 2% if taken in years 1 through 10, or 0%, often called a wash loan if taken in years 11 and beyond. We also offer a withdrawal provision on this product that the client can take out up to 20% without incurring surrender charges. Persistency bonus, and this is available on all of our products and all of our strategies. So again, today we're focusing on the Trailsetter product, but I think a lot of these features speak to our philosophy here at F&G about how we look at consumer value and we look at product pricing transparency. 25 basis points are credited beginning in the 11th policy year. That just boosts the account value a little bit more starting in that 11th policy year. Pretty traditional policy charge and expense structure. Now, I will say that your premium expense charge is quite a bit higher than other IUL products in the market. But if we look at overall, so all of the charges and expenses in an IUL go into kind of not the same bucket, right? They're obviously broken down. But if we look at across the board, what's being charged all in for premium expense charge, monthly cost of insurance, monthly unit expense charge, contract free, on Trailsetter, it will be within the same range as what you're seeing in your other accumulation products. So again, the premium expense charge may feel a little bit higher. However, it's only assessed when premiums are paid. So most of these designs are short pays, meaning after your client's done paying, their premium expense charge goes to zero. And if we take into account the overall pricing strategy of this product, I think you'll see the value over time, which I'll demonstrate here in a couple of case studies. There's a no lapse guarantee. So again, this is really not designed for just long-term low cost death benefit. It's designed for accumulation, but we have that protective value there that if the client pays a minimum premium, they're locked in and guaranteed their coverage for 15 years. Underwriting, exam free for clients all the way through age 60 and through $1 million of death benefit. We'll go through that here in a couple of moments, but your primary premium class is going to be Premier. So Premier is going to encompass both your preferred as well as your standard rates is our Premier class for this particular product, tobacco and non-tobacco. We also have an Express standard class available. That's for clients who may not qualify under normal standard rates. All right. We'll come back to product here in a little bit, talk about some of the index strategies, but I want to pivot to that trail commission component because that really is part of the product story. Is it's not just about those bits and pieces, who you're writing on, what the premium expense charge is. All of that is important, but also a component that's integral to the performance of this product is that trail commission structure. And this, again, is really, really different than what else is offered in the IUL space. And this is at F&G, the only IUL product that we have that has this kind of trail commission structure. So part of what makes that performance within the product possible is the way that we're spreading out commissions. But I have great news for you. It's not all just for your customer. It is definitely partly for your customer, but we also design this in a way that benefits you as an advisor over time. So it's not just about giving value back into the product, but it's all about also how we can provide a partnership with you that gives you even richer compensation over time in this product versus a heaped commission IUL product. So what does the commission look like? Well, there's two components. There's a spread commission and then there's a trail commission. And pardon me if you're hearing my furry assistant alerting me in the background. That would be my dog, the joys of working from home. But he is very, very excited about the commission structure as well, which again is comprised of a spread commission as well as a trail commission. So your spread is based on the premiums that are paid, and street level for that is 9.5%. So as premiums are paid, you're earning that spread commission. Now, the trail commission component kicks in starting in the second policy year and continues for the lifetime of the policy, and that's based on account value performance. So we are incentivizing our clients to adequately fund their contracts in order to deliver that performance that benefits them because they build greater cash value and also benefits us as the advisor because the better their account value performs, quite frankly, the higher my trail commission is. So your clients are incentivized to do the right thing for their policy to build value, and that in turn also benefits us. So your trail commissions are on a street level, 20 basis points paid on the entire account value starting in the second policy year and continuing for the life of the policy. Now we can think about these numbers and try to unpack that, but let's talk about a specific example. So this is taking our other accumulation focused product, which is Pathsetter, which is an awesome product also. And, we'd be happy to do a presentation on that. The Pathsetter product is an accumulation focused IUL, and it has a traditional compensation structure. So heaped compensation up in the first year, and then, lower renewals going forward. Traditional, right? We're comparing that against a Trailsetter compensation here as well. Now, I'll say also this particular design, so it's taking the same case, 55-year-old male paying $25,000 a year. You have your minimum death benefit designed for accumulation. So I will say that this is actually run, quite frankly, a little bit conservatively. We see that break-even point happening around year 5. Most of the examples that me and my team are running for advisors, you're actually seeing that break-even point happen much sooner because of this and I won't nerd out too much, but because of the change in 7702 rates, actually that initial death benefit on Pathsetter can go down quite a bit lower, which decreases target premium and brings that break-even point even sooner. Target premium on the Trailsetter product is essentially meaningless, at least from a compensation standpoint. We're not compensating you on target premium, we're compensating you on all-in premium. So that spread compensation that you're earning based on when premiums are being paid is not just up to target, it's all premiums being paid. So again, that break-even point in this particular example is 5. I would challenge that and actually say, give us a chance to look at your next IUL case, and I think you'll see how the compensation story and the trail commission structure on this is actually going to elevate that to happen a little bit sooner. And even if it does take 3-4 years, look at where the trajectory goes from there. So in your traditional IUL heaped compensation design, again, you're paid handsomely up front, but over time that does not create value for your business, does not create an ongoing revenue stream. Trailsetter does that so that over time you're seeing compensation that all in 2 to 3 times generally what you would make on a traditional heaped compensation package from a more traditionally priced IUL. So great for your customer, great for you, great for your practice, great for creating long-term revenue and value within your practice. And all going back again to that story that we can provide to the clients that gives them tremendous upside opportunity. Now, another component of that upside opportunity is your interest crediting options. Just scrolling down to make sure there are no questions. Great, your interest crediting options. Maybe you're familiar with F&G from an annuity standpoint. Perhaps you've written some of our FIAs, in which case the balanced asset 5 and 10 are probably familiar to you. They are a new addition to the F&G portfolio. So we did not, F&G IUL portfolio, we did not previously have the balanced asset strategies on any of our other product lines. We introduced it when we introduced the Trailsetter. So you have 2 options for those balanced asset index strategies that are both volatility controlled indices. One's the volatility control metric is at 5, the other is at 10. I imagine that's pretty self-explanatory, but wanted to clarify that. And that also goes into how we're able to price them from a par as well as a bonus perspective. So your balanced asset 10 provides a little bit more exposure to volatility in the market and thus gives a little bit more exposure to upside potential. So that par rate is a little bit lower, but it's balanced out with a higher bonus. And we'll talk about the bonus here in a moment. Your balanced asset 5 is a more traditional 5% volatility controlled strategy with a very, very rich participation rate at 150% plus a 1.5% bonus. Again, we'll talk about the bonus here in a moment. So the balanced asset options are really the more unique index interest crediting options within the product. We also have, of course, your S&P, if that's a strategy that more closely aligns with you or your client's needs or goals. And that is offered at a 100% par with, again, we still have a bonus on there of 1.25% and a cap of 9.5%. So you're not going to have a cap on either of your balanced asset strategies. That's really going to be controlled through the participation rate. If you're looking for the strongest illustrated option, right now that's going to be your balanced asset 10. So if you're looking for the strongest illustrated performance on the Trailsetter product, it's going to be your balanced asset 10. Now, in a couple of months, when we revisit this and look at where we land after the new illustration regulations come around, that might shift a little bit, but we're still going to have an incredibly strong story for you here on the Trailsetter product. But today, when we run the illustrations, typically if we're looking for the best illustrated performance, we're pointing you to that balanced asset 10. So let's talk a little bit about that bonus and talk a little bit about the strategy. So the balanced asset 5 and balanced asset 10 are supported through BlackRock iShares. And again, we talked about this previously, or I talked, and hopefully you you heard me. Volatility control metric targeting at 5% or 10%. Again, that's just dialing in or dialing down the exposure to volatility, which gives us the opportunity to create potential for a little bit higher returns if we have a little bit higher volatility exposure. But either way, if we're talking about exposure on the downside, you don't have it because you have a floor on the product. So even if we have a little bit of a higher volatility aperture available, you're still not exposing the client to losses because there's downside protection on the product. So I thought I had something about the bonus in here. Maybe I skipped right over it. Well, let me talk about it here. And if it comes back up again, then I can revisit it again. So let's talk a little bit about the bonuses. So your account value bonuses kick in policy year 2. So that's the 1.25% on your S&P, it's 1.5% on your balanced asset 5, and it's a hefty 1.75% bonus on your balanced asset 10. That bonus, again, kicks in starting in your policy year 2, and it is stacked on top of whatever index interest return your client earns based on their par rate. So whatever that particular strategy returns is multiplied by the par rate, and then your bonus is stacked on top of that. So that's not, taken away from what they're going to earn just based on the straight par return. It's going to be stacked on top of that. So that bonus, whether it's 1.25, whether it's 1.5 or 1.75, gives tremendous opportunity for additional growth within your account value and really creates an additional floor for our clients as well. So we have that floor, and the bonus is still going to be credited. Even if the index strategy does not return great returns, they're still going to get that bonus that brings up our floor even a little bit more. So the bonus, while technically, legally, I can't say it's guaranteed, but it is guaranteed to be paid as long as our fixed account is crediting above the minimum. So for all intents and purposes, it is going to be paid. Legal just won't let us say that it's guaranteed because there could be a situation in which it wouldn't be paid, but that's never happened. We've never credited our fixed account below the guaranteed minimum, and we wouldn't anticipate ever getting into that situation. So starting in year 2, that bonus is going to be credited. And Bob, thanks so much for the question. The question was, does the illustrated rate include the bonus? So when we run an illustration, it's going to give you your illustrated rate of, let's say, 6.62%, and then your bonus is stacked on top of that. So it is demonstrated in the performance in the illustration, but not calculated within the illustrated rate. And again, that's in today's environment. With the new illustration regulations coming, that will shift a little bit. But right now, you're going to illustrate at 6.62%, and your bonus is stacked on top of that within the calculation of the tabular detail of the illustration. So 6.62 is just your index interest rate assumptions, and then within the values within the illustration, that bonus is stacked in there as well. No fee for this bonus. I think that's a really important differentiator with this product compared against some other products you may see in the market. And also, I'm always tying this back to our philosophy here at F&G. We have no bonuses that have a fee associated with them on any of our IUL products. That is not a philosophy that we are interested in exploring from a pricing perspective. So all of our bonuses on Trailsetter, as well as any of our other portfolio products, are non-asset fee-based bonuses. Cost nothing to your client to utilize these strategies, is the simple way of saying it. It's not an illustration play. It's of real value to your client. Shifting a little bit to underwriting. So our exam-free underwriting program is, I've been saying unique a lot. I need a different word, but we have a really unique option and offering here at F&G. So I'm going to keep saying it. Maybe somebody can get me a t-shirt made that gives me a thesaurus of all of the other words I should be using. But exam-free underwriting is not the accelerated underwriting program that you may be used to at other carriers. So perhaps you are familiar with other carriers that say, send us your application. And if they're within this age and face amount, after a couple of days, your case manager will reach back out to you and they'll say, yes, this client needs an exam, or no, this client doesn't. Does that sound familiar to you? I'm imagining that you're all nodding your head, that you've had to leave a lot of appointments saying something like, thank you, that's all that I need from you right now. I may call you in a couple of days and have you have a paramed and a needle stick and a specimen, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have to do that yet. I'll get back to you. That doesn't feel great, right? Like leaving that door open, leaving that uncertainty. Well, we're going to take that off the table from you. We're going to say that all of your clients who are age 0 to 60, who are applying for $1 million or less of insurance with F&G, are going to be underwritten without exams. You don't have to put a caveat in there. That's it. It is that simple. All of your clients age 0 to 60 through $1 million are going to be underwritten without exams. No wait and see, no roll the dice, no gambling and guessing. We're telling you right now, you can leave your appointment and say this. Thank you so much for your time. That's all I'm going to need from you. You're not going to have to complete a medical exam for this application. You may get a phone call and have to answer some questions briefly over the phone from somebody on behalf of F&G, but otherwise that will be it. That feels a lot better. I mean, it does to me. Hopefully it does to you. So again, and we actually just did a study about this. We introduced exam-free underwriting in April of 2020. So we've been talking a little bit about the shift here during COVID, and this was one of the biggest transformations for our business. And since that time, I can't tell you how many tens of thousands of applications we've processed. I can't quite remember, but I think there have been like 4 that we've ordered exams on, which brings the percentage down to, I think it was 99.6% of all of our business goes through exam-free underwriting. So I'm sure somebody out there is saying, well, what about those 4 applications? I can, without guaranteeing you this, I can assure you it's not going to happen. So if over 3 years we've had to do that 4 times, I think that's a pretty good demonstration. But this doesn't mean that we're sacrificing best rate class offers for your clients, because actually over 90% of our applicants are approved at standard or preferred, or in this case, premier. So clients are still getting best class offers. This is not a change in our pricing that we're going to be rating them or something in order to give them exam free. We're still giving them best class offers 90% of the time, standard or better, and the business is getting through really quick. So over half of our exam free applications are getting approved in 5 days or less. Now, a couple little caveats, and these are small ones. If you're working with clients that are not US citizens or not permanent residents, they are eligible for exam-free underwriting, but through a lower limit. So just to $300,000. So still same exact experience, just that face amount is a little bit lower. So again, the experience from a customer standpoint is right out of the gate, many clients are going to get that preferred, or in this case, premier or standard offer with nothing else needed. So totally hands off. All you have to do is submit your application, complete it in good order. Our case manager and our underwriter will review it and get back to you and get the case ready to go to issue. In some instances, we may not have enough information in order to give them that preferred or standard offer right out of the gate, and that's when we would request a phone interview. So we're really looking at the phone interview as a less invasive option to get what we need in order to give your client the best offer. So some clients, and it's about a third of our exam-free business, goes through that phone interview route. But again, non-invasive, no needle stick, no paramed, no specimen collection. So exam-free underwriting through $1 million through age 60. This is offered on Trailsetter, but it's also, if you're looking at the rest of our portfolio, offered on our other products as well. It's really our philosophy and our approach to underwriting and being the greatest underwriting innovator in the IUL market. All right, living benefits. Back to product here. We all know life insurance is not just being used for the death benefit anymore, right? We've talked, in fact, minimally about death benefit today. We've talked more about accumulation. Another component of what our clients are using IUL policies for is not only the accumulation, but also those accelerated benefits, or what we like to call living benefit riders. So we do offer the whole suite of living benefit riders on the Trailsetter product, including critical illness, chronic illness, and terminal illness. So each of these work more or less the same, with just different triggers for how they happen. So critical illness in terminal illness, your client can accelerate up to 100% of their death benefit, up to $1 million cap, if they experience a qualifying event. So for critical illness, we have 10 covered critical illnesses or triggers. For terminal illness, the criteria would be a diagnosis with a life expectancy of less than 24 months, 12 months if you're in the state of Florida, and they can accelerate up to 100% of their death benefit, again, up to that cap of $1 million. So some carriers may limit that up to 90, 95%. We let the clients accelerate up to 100% of that death benefit if they meet the criteria. Chronic illness essentially works the same, but instead of taking it in one big chunk, they're going to take it in 25% increments. So chronic illness is you're going to accelerate 25%, and you can do so on an annualized basis. That you're getting certified with a chronic illness. And the criteria for that would be the inability to perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living or severe cognitive impairment. Now, living benefit riders, great safety net. And that's really how I look at them. One of the best benefits of the F&G living benefit riders is that they are free, F-R-E-E, free, no cost of insurance associated with these riders. So anytime we can give back to our clients something that doesn't cost them in their premium, doesn't cost them in their accumulation, that there's a small administrative fee if they choose to utilize the riders. There's a determination of present value of the contract or an actuarial discounting method that's utilized if they choose to use the riders. But hey, if they never touch them, they're on there as a safety net, and they didn't cost the client anything. So these are automatically included on all policies that are rated at a table 4 or better, up to certain age limits, which is pretty high, 70, 75. They're included on all of our policies, again, up to and through table 4, and available in every state that we do business. So critical illness, terminal illness, chronic illness, just part of the additional package. Kind of looks like, again, my screen might have been stuck. Let me go back and make sure that you were able to see those. Maybe it's just there you go. So hopefully you were able to see all of that. Again, if it didn't come through, hopefully it may end the recording, or I'm happy to send out a copy of the presentation. So critical, terminal, and chronic. I need to remember to keep checking over and that my screen is feeding through correctly. So let's put it all together in a couple of case studies. So how does this really look for real life clients? Well, I'm going to show you 2 different examples. One that's a client that's a little bit older, a little bit more advanced in age, closer or approaching retirement. And then another one that's a more traditional younger client for long-term accumulation and IUL growth. So going back one screen here, let's talk about who this client is. This is a 7-pay design, so a shorter pay design for a 65-year-old male. He's paying $30,000 a year, and he's paying that for 7 years. I'm using the balanced asset 10 here. Again, that has the very, very healthy 1.75% bonus. I'm solving for minimum non-MEC death benefit at an option B, switching to option A after 7 years. So really optimal accumulation design. Remember, on this product, we really don't care about target premium from a compensation perspective. So I know that minimum death benefit at an option B, we can really take a hit on our target premium. But again, we're not being compensated on target premium in this product. We're being compensated on all-in premium, as well as that trail commission based on accumulation. So your death benefit for this client starting off is going to be just shy of $300,000. Take a look at this accumulation potential here. So by age 75, we have just about our death benefit accumulated in there, $246,000. By age 85, we have over $500,000 of accumulation in there. We're guaranteeing the death benefit to age 80, which again is not necessarily the story that we're focused on here. We're focused on that accumulation and protection. Non-guaranteed, the death benefit carries all the way out to age 120, which is maturity. Compensation, so over 20 years, $30,000, over $30,000. So that's being paid both in your spread commission up front, as well as your trail commission over time. Now, if we compare this, again, $30,000 is your annual premium, but if you did this on a traditionally structured product, you're being compensated only up to target, which you would not get this kind of performance by having a target premium of $30,000. So a little snapshot. We all know illustrations are many, many pages long and have a lot of numbers. I always like to scroll down and take a look at a snapshot. Where would this put this particular client over their lifetime? So at age 100, he would have paid $210,000, but he would have a cash value projected of over $1.7 million. Now, this is assuming he didn't take any loans or anything, but of course, we could have done that in the illustration. He has substantial cash value in here in order to borrow from if he would like to. And of course, that death benefit has grown to $1.7 million as well. So this is a little bit of an, again, older client focused on both accumulation as well as protection. Let's shift here to a client that's, maybe a more traditional who we think of for an IUL accumulation sale. So this is a 45-year-old male. This client is paying $1,000 a month for 20 years. So he's paying during his working years. I'm solving for minimum non-MAC death benefit again, option B to A, and then I'm triggering policy loans starting at 65. So those loans are going to be supporting him as supplemental retirement income. Again, tax-free retirement income for the client starting at 65, continuing to 95. For this particular design, I did a blended strategy. So I put 50% allocated into the S&P, 50% into the balanced asset 10, give a little bit of diversification in there, which is definitely something that we encourage you to look at. And so I've demonstrated that here with this particular blend. So where does that put this client? Well, your initial death benefit is $154,000. So again, we're starting off low to keep our costs of insurance as low as possible because the goal here is accumulation and performance. And we deliver that. I think that's demonstrated here. By age 65, the client has around $400,000 of cash value accumulated in there. Certainly hasn't paid that much into it, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But that allows us the ability to turn around and illustrate policy loans of just around $45,000 per year coming out income tax free to the client. So money goes in during his working years, and then this money plus some comes out to support the client in his retirement through tax-free policy loans. Projected commission over 20 years is going to be, again, just shy of $30,000 for this particular case. So this is on a $12,000 case, so $12,000 of annual premium, and compensation is going to be $30,000 over that 20 years. So I think a great value, again, both to the client, which we're seeing demonstrated in the first three columns here, and then obviously of great value to you and your practice from a compensation standpoint. So taking a step back, my client lives to 100. Looking at the illustration, where does that put him? Well, he would have paid $240,000. Again, that's going in chunks, $1,000 a month while he's working. He would have taken out in the form of tax-free income over $1.3 million to support him in his retirement. Do you think that could be helpful for some of your clients? An extra $1.3 million or an extra $1 million to help them out in retirement that they don't have to pay any taxes on? Yeah, I definitely think so. Now that still leaves him with great protective benefit to his loved ones. So we still, even after taking that income out, have over $500,000 in death benefit protection remaining in the contract to be paid out to his loved ones and his beneficiaries when he passes away. So hopefully these two examples, it's kind of two different ends of the spectrum. We have, again, a younger client here, and we compared that against a little bit of a client with more advanced age looking for accumulation. Gives you some ideas about where we can take the Trailsetter product, the flexibility of the product, the opportunity of the product. As you're seeing here, walking through the disclosures that we're required to share with you. This presentation today was for advisor use only. So I want to make note of that. But going forward, how can we assist you? How can we support you? So I want to wrap up really by, I'll pop over and see if there are any questions coming in here. So feel free to drop those in the chat. Would be happy to answer those questions as they come in. So I'll be checking that. But this is not the only opportunity that you have to talk about the Trailsetter product or F&G in general or our other products in the portfolio. We would love the opportunity to work with you, learn about your practice, and help you build with us here at F&G. So in addition, as I mentioned, to your team at NFI, which is a great resource for you to begin or continue your journey with us here at F&G, I would encourage you to reach out to your sales partner or your marketer And in addition to the great training and support that they are giving to you, again, we also have a team here at F&G of experienced, knowledgeable wholesalers and product experts to assist you with your case design and your product questions. So that is the team that I have the privilege of leading. As I introduced you earlier, Andy Brewer is your key senior internal wholesaler. However, I have a team of 8 wholesalers that are also really great, that are available during normal business hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time, and we would love to connect with you and learn about your IUL case and talk to you about how Trailsetter could be a great fit for them. Or if it's not the right fit for you or that particular client, we can help you reposition with something else in our portfolio. So our sales support team can be reached at 800-357-8734. Again, great group. I am a little biased. I did hire and train all of them, but they are really great. I know you'll see that when you talk to them, are available to help you out, or shoot us an email at life.sales@fglife.com. In addition, skipping up the page a little bit, we have a resource site available to you. So there's no login required. I note that right on the screen because for me, if you tell me I'm going to have to enter a username and password, I'm not always interested in that. So no login required. This particular site is just for you as an advisor with us, but you can get access to your key marketing materials, case study examples on Trailsetter. You can download underwriting information, training information. So I would encourage you to jot this down and bookmark it. It's a little bit of a mouthful when I say it, but when you type it into your browser bar, it's not too bad. success.fglife.com/life-insurance/Trailsetter. Again, tough to say, pretty easy to type. We hope you will bookmark that, visit that site, access some of the resources available to you again without going through any sort of login required. We want to make those things available to you. So I will wrap up here, jump over to answer any questions. But before I do that, if you do need to depart for the day, I just want to thank you so much for your time and your attention. It's really been a joy to connect with you all today and share with you a little bit about the F&G story and specifically our Trailsetter opportunity. Have a couple of questions about copy of the webinar. I am happy to share. I'll connect with Miles and we will follow up and provide some follow-up resources for you if necessary. And I know, Teresa, that this session has been recorded as well. So Catherine and her team will be sending out a recording for you as well. A question about the access or the accessibility of Trailsetter, since I mentioned it's exclusive. If you're not currently working with the team at NFI, you will want to look towards cultivating that relationship. As I said, Trailsetter is not available through all of our partnerships. So if it's not a product you have access to today, I can't tell you to switch to working with another partner, but I would encourage you to reach out to the team at NFI, see if they're a good fit, because they are one of our exclusive partners that has the ability to offer Trailsetter. So it looks like that's it for questions. Again, thanks so much for your flexibility with my technical issues at the beginning. Hopefully you feel like it was a great investment of your time today. And we really look forward to the chance to partner with you and help you build your business here with us at F&G. So thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.
Thank you so much, Emily. We appreciate your help.